Hey guys, Fnaf 22 here with our video, and in today's video we've got huge Five Nights at Freddy's news.
Mark, this is good news.
Yes, Mark, this is great news, as recently Daco did another charity live stream, as he always does, doing amazing work for people in need. And during this charity live stream, of course, our boy Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, decided to stop in. Now, he made a lot of different comments about the franchise, about mini games, about a sister location movie, but the biggest point to pull from this is he made a comment about a brand new Five Nights at Freddy's game coming soon. Now, in this comment, he specifically said there is a sequel to something being worked on, by the way. Not a 3, a 2. This is a huge comment from Scott Cawthon, because this pretty much confirms that there is a new Five Nights at Freddy's game coming this year that isn't Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 3 or the FNAF 3 movie. This is a brand new sequel coming with Five Nights at Freddy's. So in today's video, I just kind of want to talk about a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's projects that could get a sequel and how likely all of them are being going into 2026. Now, let's start off with a huge one that I've heard a lot of rumors about. What if this is teasing the second collab with Dead by Daylight? Now, if you guys don't know, last year, Springtrap, the very first ever Five Nights at Freddy's character, got into Dead by Daylight due to huge success. I mean, it was one of the highest player counts of all time, if I'm not wrong, and a lot of the DBD fans and Five Nights at Freddy's fans love seeing Springtrap in that game, and already the Dead by Daylight creators have teased that they want to add another Five Nights at Freddy's character, saying that like a chapter based off the Mimic from The Secret of the Mimic would be really cool. So this could be a part 2 to that collab, and as much as I do think that part 2 collab is very likely, I don't think that's what Scott was teasing. I feel like we will get a FNAF X Dead by Daylight 2, but I don't feel like that's what Scott is teasing here. I feel like Scott is teasing a sequel to one of his mainline games. So another one that I've heard a lot of debate about, and personally I would love this one as I'm a huge fan of this game. What if we are getting a FNAF World Part 2? Now, obviously, in one of Daco's interviews with Scott Cawthon not too long ago, Scott Cawthon did say something along the lines of wanting to make a FNAF World 2, or wanting to be able to redo FNAF World so he could do it correctly with like a bigger team and not do it by himself. I'll roll the clip for you guys.
No, you know, the one thing I would change, I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNAF World. I really do. But yeah, you know, if I could go back and change one thing, I wish I could maybe work with a different developer and just really make it a high resolution game, get in some really good graphics, maybe get someone else to, you know, help me with those graphics. And it could have been a good game. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, if I get really antsy about it and have a lot of free time on my hands, maybe FNAF 2 or FNAF World 2 might be a thing.
So yeah, guys, there is interest in Scott Cawthon making a FNAF World 2, and I love FNAF World. I think the first game is so peak. I feel like it was really fun. It's definitely very different compared to all the other FNAF games we get nowadays, but FNAF World was a really cool game, and I really would love to see a part 2. I'd love to see them add the characters that we couldn't get in part 1, like the sister location characters, the security breach characters. I would personally love a FNAF World 2, and I'm kind of hoping for me this is a FNAF World 2, but to be 100% honest with you, I don't think it is. I do think if we ever get a new FNAF World game, it might be like a remake way down the line, or maybe we get like a sequel, but I'm sure it's further down the pipeline. I'm sure it's not this close, even though I would love to see a FNAF World 2. Now, obviously, guys, let me tell you what the real sequel is going to be. This is going to be the sequel that everybody's been hyped about, the sequel that everybody has been talking about, a sequel that all FNAF fans want to see. Obviously, we are getting Five Nights at Freddy's AR Part 2. Yes, of course they're doing this so Jazzwares can make all the new AR merchandise. We can get brand new merchandise. That's all that matters. AR merchandise, that's all that matters in this company. Obviously, we're not getting a FNAF AR 2. I have heard some speculation that we might get a FNAF AR 2. I'm sorry to tell you, if anybody really wants that, that is not happening. That is not going to be this sequel. We are not getting a FNAF AR 2. It's not happening. Anyways, now that things have calmed down a bit, let's talk about the highest speculation. This is the one that I feel like a lot of people are going for, and honestly, I feel like this is the sequel we are getting. A lot of people are thinking this is either going to be a Security Breach Part 2 or a Security Breach Ruin Part 2. Now, not too long ago, probably a few months back, we made a video talking about a teased FNAF game called Five Nights at Freddy's The Abyss. I talked about it here on the channel. You can see the card right on the screen. But in that video, we did talk about how Leon Riskin, the music composer for FNAF, was making all these teases that we might be getting a brand new FNAF game with poems and other like snippets of music. And a lot of people were very, very certain that this was a new FNAF game. Now, with these teasers, a lot of people thought we were going into Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin Part 2, where we can finally see what happened to Cassidy since the first game ended on a cliffhanger. I feel like this is very, very likely. I feel like this has to be the route we are going. I feel like we are getting either a Security Breach Part 2 or a Ruin Part 2. Probably a Ruin Part 2 because the first game ended on a cliffhanger. But I really do think this is the sequel he is talking about. Now, I know a lot of people do want to see a Security Breach Part 2, as obviously Security Breach is one of the more like loved and hated FNAF games in the franchise, but I know a lot of people love it. They love it for the characters and the gameplay, and of course, if it was done correctly this time and they took more time to cook, obviously it could be a lot better of a game. But I really do think these teases from Scott are pointing to a Ruin Part 2. I really feel like that's the way we're going. Continue the story with Cassie, that's her name, right? And continue the rest of the FNAF lore going forward. I really do feel like these teases from Scott are for a FNAF Ruin Part 2. Now, before we end this video, there's one other game I want to talk about that we could be getting a sequel, which I highly, highly doubt. We could be getting a sequel of our newest FNAF game, Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Now, I've heard a few people talk about this, how we could be getting a sequel for Secret of the Mimic since it's the newest game in the franchise. I honestly haven't beaten it just yet, unfortunately, because I got really sick when the game came out, but that's beyond the point. I played most of it. I've gotten to a good chunk of it, and I kind of know how the game ends. I highly doubt we're getting a sequel for it since it is the newest FNAF game. It literally just came out last year, back in June or July. So I highly doubt we're already getting a sequel for Secret of the Mimic. I personally really thought the game was fun. I think the gameplay is really great. I don't know how overall it was conceived, if it was like conceived really well or really poorly. I don't know for sure, to be honest, but I highly doubt we're getting a sequel to this game since it is still pretty new. I feel like we are shooting for that Security Breach Part 2 or Ruin Part 2. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you always be notified for when I drop another video. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your guys' thoughts on this brand new FNAF sequel news, and what game or project do you guys want to see get a sequel? Like Scott said, it is not a 3, so he's not teasing the third FNAF movie, or like Help Wanted 3, he is teasing a sequel. So it's either like a partner thing like Dead by Daylight, or a sequel to a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I feel like this is huge, huge news, and I'm really excited to see what this sequel ends up being. But like I said, I have my bets on either Security Breach Part 2 or Ruin Part 2. I also do just want to say before I end this video, thank you guys so much for the support on the last video. It did so well. You guys are loving the 2026 FNAF merch video. I feel like it was perceived really well. I'm getting a lot of positive comments, lots of subs, so I very, very much appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. I'm sorry this one is kind of more of a shorter, like just going over info video, but I definitely really wanted to talk about this, as this is huge news in the FNAF community, and I'm so excited to see what this sequel may be. But like I said, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.